Yeah, no,
Juan,
I can hear you, Meny. Yep, I can hear you.
hey, that's awesome. So thanks for joining, everybody. More people are going to join us as we go to our bi-monthly KW Commercial SoCal meeting. So we have some folks out there in Vegas for this year's ICSC Convention. We have Juan Bustamante out there today with who else is there? David Yashar, Omid.
I want to introduce, I don't know if he's on here. He's a good guy. I met him out here. I've been following him. Van Dan, I don't know if he's on from North Carolina.
Okay. He's on right now, yeah. Well, that's awesome. So Juan, give us a kind of quick, one-on-one what's going on out there if you want to toss around as well.
Yeah, no, most definitely. So first of all, thank you for having me and allowing me to be here. So I've been coming to this event for several consecutive years now. Now, this year's a little bit light, only 22,000 people compared to the other years. I really encourage everybody to come at least once. Why? You meet a lot of connections. I mean, I did one of the largest deals with David last year, one of my largest deals last year through networking. And then now when I see David here, it's like, hey, man, how you doing? So it just reinforces the relationship. So the networking of it, just with fellow agents, like I was mentioning earlier in the call, Van Dan, if you guys don't know him, he's in North Carolina, great guy. I was stalking him and we just reinforced our relationship. So it's really neat to do that. You pretty much here at ICSC, it's the International Council of Shopping Centers. So we always want to service our clients the proper way. How do we do that? Providing value. So you name it, from the national brands are here. So right here, I got the card of the McDonald's rep as an example. Right here, I got the card of the Pizza Hut guy. Right here, I got the guy of Dollar General and Family Dollar. Why is that important? Because a lot of the time, depending on which side we're representing our clients, tenant rep or landlord rep, we got to make sure that we're a resource for our clients. So yes, you can go online and Google these guys, but there's nothing like the personal relationship and giving them a handshake. And these guys are very, very busy. So they cannot run away from you here at the booth and having that face interaction. So definitely would encourage everyone to make it out here at least once. Happy to be a resource. Give me a call if you guys have any additional, more specific information, because it could be intimidating and it's a big deal. So definitely encourage everybody to at least make it at least one. And you're in Vegas, so why not come anyways?
Yeah, that's awesome, Juan. Thank you for sharing that. And also, like, actually showing examples of what kind of people you meet, that exactly it's going to be, I'm not saying impossible, but, close to impossible to reach out to them on a day-to-day basis, unless you have some kind of more of a warm connection, what have you. So you've been there for what, a couple of days now so far?
Yeah, so Sunday, got here Sunday.
So far, what's of course you mentioned the fact that you're making those connections and in person. Who else is out there? Like any vendors you think that can be beneficial?
Yeah, most definitely. So a lot of the times, we get calls. A lot of them you had them. I have to give you kudos to. You're very proactive about having them, but they're here. Crexy, CoStar, and actually CoStar gave a card out today at 11 o'clock. So if you register, so they're all here, and they're really, in order for us to run our business efficiently, we need these vendors. So every vendor you can think of, they're here. I mean, and it's not only systems, but it's also like vendors such as light for shopping center vendors, all sorts of different vendors that you can think of. That it goes back to our original purpose: service our client in the best way. Which by us having those tools in our toolbox, we're just know more information. We're more credible. We can have genuine and what's it called, conversations with substance with our clients. But the people that are here is most of the big national names. Like I said, Pizza Hut, Chipotle, McDonald's, they're all here. Developers are here. There's different what's it called, investors. So for example, there is this one company that all they do is buy value adds throughout the United States, and they pay for your fee. So sometimes, you know, when we have these chats with Meny that on the WhatsApp, well, and we're pitching our properties, that's good, but there's also other resources out there to put your properties in front of. So it just gives you a wider pool of vendors, individuals in your toolbox for you to execute and do your job at a high level and efficient.
No, that's awesome. Yeah. And I see Van Man walking around over there. I'm not sure if you can hear me. It's probably noisy or just walking around. But hey Van, can you hear us? Oh, it's probably walking around. Van. Okay.
You see.
In any case, so we also have a booth out there. Did you get a chance to sit at the booth and kind of talk to people?
Hold on. Let me see. There were some hiccups with the booth. We were working on it with Dan, with David, but you know, we were trying to pretty much kind of stay together and obviously come in uniform. But so no, but we did obviously try to see who else is here and kind of show up as a group.
That's awesome. Yeah. Van, can you hear us? Van.
Let's see if I can get him.
Let's see if he's gonna unmute himself. Just want to see like he's walking around.
Okay, let me see.
All right.
All right, can you hear me?
Oh, there he is. Yes, Van.
Hey, Van, how's it going?
Going well. We're rocking and rolling out here. What's happening?
Good. Well, good to have you jumping on our call. Thanks for the introduction through Juan. So no, we see like walking around. So first of all, share about yourself. You're part of the which company? Where from?
Yeah, sure. So I'm Van, the commercial man. My name is Van Gandhi. I am a specializing in investment sales, tenant rep, land acquisitions, development, entitlements, and I'm out of Raleigh, Durham, North Carolina. So we're doing deals about 2.5 hours from Raleigh, Durham, and a lot of investment sales. We are now jumping into states like Virginia and South Carolina. Just doing a little hustle. At the same time, we pick up the tenant reps when we buy in shopping centers with vacancy. Everybody knows industrial's hot, but industrial's hard to find right now. So as I think I just saw on the KW page that Amazon's going to let go of some pays. I see some opportunities occurring there, but yeah. So I hope, can you guys hear me all right? I know I'm here.
Yeah. Right, perfect, cool. Perfect. Yeah. And we saw like just walking around the convention over there, kind of
sure.
behind you. That's kind of cool.
But let me flip it so you're not looking at me. Hold on. If it's like, let's see.
Looks like a big space over there. So
yeah, so there we go. So we got some. Jersey Mike's is our best friend in the world. So they're providing lunches for everyone, which is super kind. And so you can just look down these numbers, 8,600 to 9,000. That it's just massive. So you just go through each aisle.
Wow.
Horizontally, vertically, and you just get to meet all the vendors, all the powers to be with real estate acquisition and dispositions. So this is the Velveline showroom. I was just at Bojangles a little bit earlier. Found out something awesome at DoorDash, which I am stoked about. So you should highlight them since I was down here last. But is that a good?
We're having like a virtual tour right now, pretty much.
Yeah.
No, that's awesome. I mean, it's definitely give us the appetite to show up next year with a bigger force, right, Juan? And then
yes,
make the right presence. I mean, it's been a couple of years to most conventions and seminars and what have you. So I think this is the first year really after post-pandemic that they are kind of going back in that better capacity. So
typically it's about 4 days, but coming back from COVID, it's two days, right? 2 full days, Monday and today.
Okay.
So
yeah.
And
I mean,
Okay,
yesterday it was like you could barely walk, and today it's you start to see people wind down. So it was I actually love it because I was able to hit up a lot more and have more meaningful conversations in a short amount of time today compared to yesterday.
Well, they're recovering from last night.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Just hang with Juan. You're gonna need to recover for a week after this is over.
Anybody has any questions to Juan or Van, the commercial man? I love your.
I will highlight, follow him, not so much because you want to follow him, but follow him. He has great content that we mastermind about. That's very transparent, very genuine with his commercial listing. So I was following him. That's what got me to follow him. And now I got to meet him and hopefully we do some deals. But if you guys are kind of like, commercial, we're not really innovating as far as, we're taught to do it a certain way. Van definitely thinks outside the box and very creative with his content. So check him out.
Yeah. Make sure to send Van's info, LinkedIn or Instagram, whatever you follow. We're gonna share with the group for sure.
Okay.
Awesome. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Juan, this is David.
Hey, David.
Hi, how are you?
Good.
Juan, I'm trying to get a picture of who are the exhibitors. I mean, there are like restaurants, there are other people that they're trying to get into retail, or what is it exactly that this is about?
Yeah. So what happens is all of the companies, you guys know that after COVID, as an example, QSRs are very, very huge right now. Everybody's changing and innovating their model, meaning on the restaurant business. So a lot of these businesses have different models and they pretty much have different goals to reach in expanding. So depending on what markets you're working and what areas, sometimes we're calling and we're missing these opportunities because we're like, if we just knew that X, Y, and Z company is looking to expand there, well, hey, you could do a deal directly with one of these companies. A lot of them, like anything else, have preferred relationships, but it doesn't mean that we can't get in the door if we have the deal, we have the control. So all the companies that come here is because they're expanding and they're doing deals. They might not be doing it in your market, but the reps are there and you can just stay on them and be the foots and boots on the ground for whichever company it is that you're talking to. And the majority of the major ones are here.
All right, so from your understanding, is it really worthwhile to spend like 3 or 4 days next year? Should I plan on that if I want to get to more people on the network?
Most definitely, because I thought about that and I always think about that, right? And depending, we just have to think outside the box to do deals. I'll give you a real life example. So I have a client that we've been struggling and leasing and selling the building. He's been a little difficult, and Pizza Hut was formerly. You gotta go. All right, man.
Thank you, bye. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Pizza Hut was formerly in this building that I have the listing for. So essentially my what's it called? My plan with this particular building, I told the client, all of us know that selling real estate is fine, but we want to create passive income for future, right? If we're available. So now I'm talking to the owner and I told him, Herschel, hey, look, will you be willing to partner up with me if I get you a tenant? He's like, most definitely, Juan. Like, let's just get a tenant in there. So things have changed from where this Pizza Hut was. Like now there's an Amazon, like it's different demographics. So my intention with this particular example is to get Pizza Hut or anybody else, but Pizza Hut was already there, and me be part owner of the box with the client and have the national tenant pay us rent. So that's one strategy. And the only way I'm really going to get to the bottom of it is by being emails. It's okay. But remember, if you don't have a true relationship with these people and done many deals, the best way is to make an impact in person with them. So most definitely coming in would definitely, even if you do just one deal, would be, I think you would get a good ROI on it.
Thank you, Juan. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for asking, David. Yeah, we're definitely going to plan to be there next year, bigger force, more strategic, right? Make the best out of it. Also, like, again, all those conventions slowly coming back. So,
Yeah.
Juan, thanks for your time, man. I appreciate it. This is
Thank
great.
you.
And thanks for the insight. And say hi to David from all of us. I know he was in a meeting,
Yeah.
so he couldn't make it today, but stay on the call with us. If you can, we're going to hear next from Catalina Material Handling.
Okay.
I think it's actually kind of related to a lot of the tenants out there in the exhibition. Excuse me. We have both Steve and Cameron. I think Steve, you want to open up?
Yeah. Thanks. Thank you for having us today on the presentation. And we have I have a short deck that I can take everybody through that basically gives you a high-level overview on our capabilities. Before I get to that, I can just, kind of open up by saying, Catalina is, in layman's terms, we're a racking company. We're in the industrial space predominantly. So we are basically doing design, engineering, sales, installation, and permitting of large-scale racking systems in the industrial space. We're based in Garden Grove, California. So we're heavy in the Southern California marketplace, usually from kind of the north side of Los Angeles County down to the Mexican border. And then from the ocean, we go out maybe about 100 miles. We do have a lot of national and global clients as well, where we've started with say the client in a facility in Southern California, and then the client is opens additional facilities in different states outside of California. And we do handle work outside of California. In fact, we usually have in the neighborhood of maybe 15 projects running concurrently. So as I mentioned, in layman's terms, we are a racking company, which to just provide a little more color on that. So we'll do buildings of any size, but they typically average 50,000 square feet and up. We've done a number of projects that are in those 500,000 and million square foot buildings, where we'll go in and install all the steel racking that the operators are using forklifts to load pallets into the racking. So Cameron Nolenberg, who's he's on the call here too. Cameron is new to our team, and I have some connection with Cameron and his family. He used to be with Keller Williams, and then through his family member there, invited us to participate on the call today. So I'll take you through our presentation, and it should take us maybe 10 minutes or something like that, but I'll try to leave a few minutes for you guys at the end, and just, it's very open. So if there's something that's of any interest, somebody, just please shout out, and, I want to make it, not just me dumping a presentation on you, but I'd like, anybody that has any questions or anything that might pertain more specific to your business, just pause me, and I'll try to answer whatever we can. Okay.
Awesome. Kim, do you want to share the slides?
I can, but I think Steve was.
Oh,
going
Steve,
to-
are you going to share the slides?
Yeah, here we go. So does everybody see our presentation there?
Yeah, perfect. Thank you so much.
Okay, great. So let me get going here. Okay, so just a real brief. Everybody always asks us, the obvious question, wow, are you guys based on the island of Catalina? Which I always get a kind of a laugh out of, but the founder and owner of our company, Jim McGee, he's been in the racking space for about 36 years in Southern California. And being a contractor that we are, like any contractor, your name is really your reputation, and Jim is done very well. And I think we've handled our clients incredibly well over the years. And consequently, that's enabled us to be as successful as we are. Jim he's big into boating, and he does like Catalina. And so that's why the company's called Catalina Material Handling. Who are we? As I mentioned earlier, we're a racking company in layman's terms, and that means basically industrial storage. Material handling is a term that's been around a long time, and that has to do with a number of things, racking being one. We also provide forklifts. We have a forklift division. We're doing a lot of mezzanines and conveyors these days, as a lot of the clientele that we work with are, they've been into, but they're moving even more so into the e-commerce world, direct to consumer. And so instead of just storing pallets levels of product, they're doing pick and pack at the each levels and shipping to consumers. We do permitting, both seismic permitting through the building and safety departments on all of our projects, as well as fire permitting, which is called high pile storage. So a lot of times that requires us to evaluate the sprinkler systems as they pertain to the customer's commodity that they're trying to store, to ensure that they're going to be able to pass permitting. We've also done some software implementations, and we have a lot of custom order picking systems that go along with catwalks and things. Everything we do is full service. So whatever the solution is that we're going to be providing, there's always a scope of work, and it's a turnkey solution. These are the companies that are sort of under the umbrella of the same ownership. So Catalina Material Handling is essentially the racking partner, and that halos out over conveyor systems. We do dock equipment, we do forklifts and things like that, things that provide solutions in the warehousing environment. Anacapa is a lighting company that we own as well. I usually describe it as like when you go through the drive-through and you say, hey, I'd like to have a cheeseburger. They're almost certainly going to ask you if you like fries with that, right? So lighting, LED lighting sort of goes hand in hand with racking, because the minute somebody puts racking into a warehouse, the lights that they have in there typically need to be relocated. And sometimes they need to have battery backups for egress, for permitting and things like that. So we have a lighting business, and then we also have a lift equipment business that provides scissor lifts and forklifts, which are typically, we started that business because all of our installations require that equipment, but we also have customers that rent and buy equipment from us, new and used. These are kind of just a list of all the different types of racking, and there's some pictures on there. So this top picture sort of depicts what's commonly called selective racking. So you're going to have aisles with forklifts driving up and down and loading pallets of material into the rack. The middle picture is what's called cantilever. So you'll see that a lot at like a Home Depot, or the application would be for sort of long, unusual size objects. And then down below is a carton flow system used typically in like a pick and pack. We do a lot of freezer work, a lot of food companies are clients of ours, where we not only put racking in their ambient temp warehouse, but we do a lot of freezer racking installation. Freezer space is very expensive, so to speak, and the customers typically want to use a dense racking system, which would be like a pushback or a drive-in racking. A lot of our customers tend to silo up into a few categories: third-party logistics companies, food companies. We do a lot of apparel, and we do a lot of furniture. So pretty much all the furniture you see at like Lowe's, Home Depots, Living Spaces, Costco, Sam's Club, that kind of thing. All that furniture is typically imported by a handful of manufacturers, and we've worked with, I think, all of them or nearly all of them. These are a few types of conveyor systems that we get involved with as well. Conveyor is, it's an art form, but a lot of customers are trying to get away from human labor. The cost of human labor has skyrocketed, as we've all seen. Minimum wage is way up. And so the global operators, the Amazons of the world, are really driving toward robotics, conveyor, and what they call dark warehouses. So they don't even really turn the lights on in these warehouses because there's no humans working in there. And so we see a lot of those solutions want to trickle down to companies that are operating at a much lower level than the Amazons of the world. But we have partners that work with us that deal in all sorts of conveyor. These are pictures of a recent automation project we did with Boot Barn. We've been working with Boot Barn since they had 3 retail stores, and I think they have upwards of 350 stores right now. And Boot Barn is driving hard, albeit a small company in a lot of respects, but they drive a lot of automation. And so these top pictures here are what's called a pick-to-light system. So they scan an order and these lights come on and it'll have a digital number on how many items in those boxes the operators will pick. So it's a very efficient, very fast method for operators to pick, but it's a little bit more of an expensive system to put in. That bottom left picture down there is those boxes are moving down a power conveyor, and it's happening kind of right there. It's a little bit blurry, but that's called a direct print and apply. So it's stamping the UPS or FedEx barcode label right on the box there. So Boot Barn is we kind of typically have at least 1 or 2 or 3 projects going on at Boot Barn. They have a huge footprint in Fontana, California. I mentioned that we do a lot with sprinkler work. It's pretty amazing to us, even that, you know, the amount of sprinkler work that we do has kind of like exploded in the last few years, because the demand for industrial warehouse space has obviously exploded. And that is sort of infiltrated what I kind of refer to as older buildings that were typically built for manufacturing purposes. So manufacturing's pretty much totally gone away, especially in the Southern California marketplace. And a lot of companies are moving into those buildings for the sole purpose of warehousing. And so what happens is that the sprinkler systems that were originally designed and installed for manufacturing had a much less, a much lower requirement for fire suppression than, say, storing pallets and pallets of merchandise. Almost everything is plastic these days. And so the sprinkler systems, if you want to use the building, they do need to be certified. They need to be upgraded typically. And in some cases, when we install racking, they'll even put in what's called in-rack sprinkler systems. So we do an initial assessment on the sprinkler systems. We have a couple of partners here that can go nationwide as well. They're national companies, and they assist us with any sprinkler upgrades that we might need to do. I should mention too that we do a lot of work with building owners, including even publicly traded companies like Duke Realty. Bridge Development is another one out here, Rexford Industrial, where they might be looking at buying buildings or rehabbing buildings and things like that. They have plenty of experts on staff, but a lot of times the people that we have relationships with will reach out to us directly, and they'll want us to take a run by a building. And we do a lot of building assessments, and we look at those not only from the standpoint of feasibility for racking storage. So typically we'll do a racking layout for them so that they can see sort of how much product could be stored in the building, but we'll also look at it from an efficiency standpoint. We'll look at it from a permitting standpoint. We look at it from the sprinkler standpoint. Little things such as slab thickness. A lot of the industrial properties, the newer ones, are all going in with 7 and 8 inch reinforced thick slabs, but a lot of the older buildings might only have a 5 inch slab. We ran into some recent issues. We actually did a project for Brinks, the armored car people, and they were storing precious metals, silver, bars of silver and things like that, incredibly heavy. And their strategy is to kind of go into not so great neighborhoods, not so great buildings. And the slab was like 3 inches thick, which is sort of like the sidewalk or like maybe your driveway. And it just could not take the weight that they wanted to put on there. So those are things that we have a keen eye for, that, if you have clients that, need building evaluation, we do that all the time as well. These are just some of the other services. And again, we'll get this presentation over to you guys for distribution. So I'm not going to read you through all these things, but the main thing to key on here is, as I mentioned, we do an end-to-end solution. So when somebody calls and says, hey, we need racking, or we want to put in a conveyor system, or whatever the solution is they're looking for. We can not only help them with the design, but we also have seismic engineering. So everything that's going to be permitted is going to have to have a set of seismic calculations to go along with it. And then we also have fire consultants that are going to look at the product that's being stored, the design of the storage, and then all the other parameters of the building, like the sprinkler system specification, so that it can pass fire permitting. This is a little bit about our process. This is a little bit kind of sales 101, but it usually starts with the first contact of the customer and assessing their needs. Typically, there's going to be a drawing pretty quick on what the customer's trying to do with design, whether it's racking or a pick module, or they want to set up an e-commerce pick and pack system. We'll go back and forth a few times on the design. I usually try to, when I'm explaining to people what we do, I usually just say, forget about the racking. That's all too complicated. Just pretend that you were going to have a kitchen remodel project done at your house. And so this flow that you see on here is pretty much that same kind of a thing. You might meet with 2 or 3 different kitchen remodel companies. You're going to discuss with them the design. You're going to discuss with them all the scope of work. Maybe you want them to demo the old kitchen, or you're going to do that yourself. So those are all the things that get discussed. We consider ourselves extremely good buyers. So whether it's brand new racking, we have multiple companies, manufacturers that manufacture the rack. So we'll get multiple quotes on the rack. We'll get multiple quotes from the subcontractors that will do the installation work. And in some cases, when there's a lot of truckloads, we'll get multiple quotes on the freight as well. And so we really position or we consider every opportunity to be a very competitive bid. And we let our customers know that, because, they're always, these are large ticket items. I mean, these are typically the second largest capital expenditure next to the purchase or lease of the building itself. And so the decision makers typically are the CEO, the CFO, COO. They're the guys that are really busy, but also, they want to make sure they're getting a good price. And so, we do drive hard, and we drive our team hard to really shop the subs and come up with the most competitive price for our customers. Some of the tools that we use, our company runs on Salesforce as an ERP platform. And one of the plugins is Mission Control, which is kind of their top project management software. So it doesn't matter the size of the project, there's always going to be a project manager assigned. There's always going to be a schedule assigned. And I think the one thing that we do really well here is communicate with the customers right from the proposal sign off all the way through the final inspections. And that's a team approach. It's not just the salesperson that happened to sell the job, but it's also the project manager who manages the project as well with the salesman. These are just some of the logos, companies that we work with. I think almost every single one of these we have ongoing work with, or even have open projects with. We've done I think we're starting 3rd project with Puma out in Phoenix, Arizona. That's about a 1 million square foot project. Crane Worldwide is, we do about 1 building a month for Crane. They're a global 3rd-party logistics company, as is SeCa down here is, oops, kind of got going on that one a little bit. SeCa is a global construction material. You guys are probably familiar with some of these, Louis Vuitton and Herbalife. Stace Logistics is a massive food 3PL in Southern California. And then Relativity Space, I've been directly involved with them. They're out here in Southern California. They're a direct competitor to SpaceX, and they're building payload rockets. They're actually, it's pretty fascinating. I've been out to their facility. Their rockets are being built using 3D printer. So go figure, but it's kind of exciting. We tend to be in the trenches with a lot of companies in a lot of different spaces, and we get to see a lot of pretty fascinating things. Beacon and ABC are national roofing companies, but this is just kind of a scratch of the surface of some of our clients. This is a time-lapse video we did for this company, Hydrofacial, over in Long Beach. They make these state-of-the-art facial machines. This is kind of a nice little video, so I think it runs about a minute. A little choppy, I guess. There we go. That's us. And nope, go. Here's a couple more slides left. So as I mentioned, Jim McGee is the owner and president of the company. And then myself, my role here is VP of Sales and Operations. Jim and I essentially run the business together. And just to touch on a few of how do we work, our installation teams, the gentleman that you just saw in the video, those are licensed subcontractors. They're all employees of the companies that they work for. The companies that do that, mostly they're family-owned businesses, which is multi-generational family businesses, but they're all safety trained and wear all the safety equipment and everything. As I mentioned, we do have dedicated project managers, and then our structural engineer can stamp plans in all states. This is just a quick slide on ANACAP, our lighting, but as I mentioned, we typically are in the industrial space, and we do all kinds of high bay lighting. We can do egress lighting and emergency lighting as well. And yeah, that's kind of what the lighting in the warehouse looks like. And that's our presentation. I'll put a little, let me see if we can do this. This is a QR code if anybody wants to scan it real quick. You know, we set up a page on our website just so we can capture your information. You can stay in touch with us that way. We're also on LinkedIn, and if you want to follow us, we typically put up projects on there. But you know, hopefully this presentation, you know, touched on some of the areas, you know, of interest, or, you know, in the future, if there's anything that I usually wrap these up by just saying, if there's any questions that you guys ever have at all, I mean, you know how to get a hold of us, email, text. I mean, we're kind of 24/7, I'm sure, like you guys are. We don't mind answering any questions at all. We have a pretty good database of all the jurisdictions in Southern California and a lot of other jurisdictions around the country. So if you have, you know, clients that are considering properties, or they're signing leases on properties and they have questions about racking or permitting or anything along those lines, we'd be more than happy to, you know, send me a quick email, send me a text, and we'll try to get you a quick answer. You know, we're more than happy to do that. And you know, and if you have clients that are looking for racking or any of the things that you saw in the presentation, obviously, you know, we'd love to jump in and get involved and help, you know, be a solution provider for you. So if there's any questions, we can take questions, or if not, you know, appreciate the opportunity to present to everybody today.
That was awesome, Steve. Thank you, and Cameron as well for the presentation. We're all about sharing resources, regardless to what kind of niche. If someone specializes in apartments, that might not be the one vendor they were going to look for every single day.
Yeah.
However, people have multiple businesses, and always good to have those connections. So you guys also doing something very, very unique. It's a very unique service provider. It's a very niche market. So this is great to have you guys over here.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you. I kind of felt like when we, had the invitation that we might, your group might not all be exactly falling into this space, but like you said, sometimes, there could be other, cross opportunities or what have you. But, we try to take a very professional approach. And so every customer engagement is either by myself or by Jim or anybody, one of the sales professionals that we have on our team or our project managers. And, some of those logos that you saw on the slideshows, those are a lot of those companies that we've been doing business with for over 10 years. And so those companies usually, won't stay with a partner unless they're doing a good job. So we're happy to, have that type of a list of clientele and customers.
It's impressive. And we do have a few industrial people on the call. So again, it can be relevant for anybody. So this is great. And of course, we're going to share the presentation deck afterwards with the follow-up email with our group. It's going to go out to about 100 commercials out there in our group in Southern California. So again, Steve, Cameron, thank you so much for your time. Any questions, by the way, anybody for Steve, Cameron? Okay.
All right. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Do you want us to stay on, or do you guys have additional? I don't want to cut anybody short if they come up with something later, or if you guys have your call to continue with, we can drop off.
Yeah, no worries. No, we're actually going to cut it around this time. Once again, thank to Juan for jumping on the call from the ICSC in Vegas over there. We're going to make it more of a point to attend next year. That and another big convention for the apartment building. I'm not sure what that's going to take place next year. But again, thank you so much, everybody, for being here. And we're going to show the recordings later today. Take care, everybody. Good to have you.